There's a couple of camera accessories, I call them accessories, to help a user get more cinematic effects in a reel too. The rig crane can be used for smooth sweeping shots, and the rail cam can be used to create smooth fly-throughs. They mimic their real-life counterparts, and they're pretty handy to have. So they both will follow the same process to set up like this, the cine cameras we've already created. So I'm going to show you two processes, both the manual and there's a control option way, which will bring in things a little bit more automatically. But let's build one from the start first, manually from the start. So I'm just going to do a rail cam here. So we're going to, again, animation, level sequence, and we're just call this rail cam. So same thing, I'm just going to double click in here. So here's our extra camera accessories, I call them. So I'm going to bring in it first, and then I'm going to bring in a cine camera actor. So when you, let's see here, let me get a better frame on that a little bit easier here. You can see what's going on. So our camera actor and then our rail, and I've got a couple other rails in here, so you're seeing like what's going on because I was doing some more testing with this earlier. So our cine camera is 7 here, and we're going to parent him into this rail. So he's going to be basically a child of this guy. So what we're going to do is also at that point zero him out. This camera now is part of this rail. So to move the rail, the same settings as just translate, rotate, scale. There are some interesting little controllers too. You can make it a bit longer. Let's see. Let's go with select the little endpoint here, and you can extend the rail. And let's just say that for this camera, we're going to raise him up a bit in Z. Let's go like 60 or something, and then let's also rotate him 90. So we can kind of see them over here too. Okay, what we want to do to add this to our rail cam level sequence is we're gonna have to grab both of these guys, and you just grab and put them in there. And then again, we're gonna need this camera cut track, and we want to add the Cine Camera Actor 7, which is our part of this rail. So he's there. Now we're all in there. Again, like we've been seeing with these cameras, let's just switch first cinematic viewport here, and then I'm going to just tighten this up a bit, and now we've got a rail that this camera will slide along this rail once we set some settings here. So by default, there's this current position on rail. Now if you want to animate that position, you can click on this little keyframe, and it's going to load this attribute, the current position on rail, into the engine. And you can see it's added a key there too at frame 0. So like we're doing with the other shots, these are 150 frame shots. So we'll just say it's going to go to the end here, and we'll say 149, that's fine. Current position on rail, and then it's basically a 0 to 1 relationship. So we'll go there, and then I'm just going to use this key. So we'll try a different key each way there. So as we can slide along the rail, and it's really cool type stuff, because now you can concentrate on controlling the actual rotation of your camera or something and not worry about translates and stuff. There are a couple other little interesting things you can add with that too. If you right click on the spline, you can add a spline point, and now you can kind of make change the deform your rail or something, so you can add more points. You can at any point change the length of your rail too. So it's a pretty cool little tool. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't use that particular shot, but the option is there. So this is the manual way. Let's show what the crane cam can do. Same kind of thing. Let's do a animation level sequence, and we're going to call this crane cam. And actually, I'm going to save these real quick. This time, I'm going to show you a different way of bringing it in. So if we do a hold, like a control, and then drag the camera, and I have my level sequence selected, look what it's done here. It's actually added the camera for us, and it's added the camera cuts. So this is a really handy thing. So control drag the camera rig or camera rail, and it'll do a lot of the work for you. And it'll actually parent it to the camera to the crane, and you're kind of ready to go. For this instance, it's a little oversized for the shot, but it's really handy tool for doing maybe exterior type architectural visualization type shots too. So same thing with the rail cam. You can set attributes. You can key various attributes here. This, for particularly, the crane has a pitch, yaw, arm length. You can lock the mount, the the mount pitch and the mount yaw too. So let's just, we can set these keys. Once you add the keys, the attributes show up in the level sequence there too. And like I mentioned, they are automatically keyed. So this is, really, really handy thing to kind of, let's see, my camera's actually going through there. So let's just see if we can change this a bit to kind of at least see what's going on here. So I'm just changing the length here. Oh, again, let's go to our camera and just kind of change the aperture here real quick. So you see I set a key here so it's going to be messed up there. So let's just delete that key. I'm just going to slide that key back. So now we got our establishing position, and what's it going to do? I don't know. Well, just for the sake of something interesting here, let's just see what's pitch going to do. No, we're going to do that. I don't know. We've got something there. You get the point. Really interesting tools to use to make things easier for you when you're creating these types of animations. So let's see, is there anything else I needed to talk about there? I think that's it. So in the next section, we'll look at assembling our edit, adding fades and audio. See you then.